everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I hope everybody's having a great day, great week. And I do want to give a happy birthday to Steph. She is a moderator on this channel and a high viber. So if you see her around, it's her birthday. Wish her a happy solar return. Definitely, got to give the Leos love on their birthday, of course. So let's take a look at this day in Leo season. Pretty faded times. We got this yod building, which I think is super interesting, as the sun's going to come to 25 degrees today. So it's coming off the exact quincunx to Neptune, and it's working on this quincunx over to Pluto while they're still in their sextile. So it is that finger of God, finger of fate. So, especially dealing with a dignified sun here, we are in the finger of God. There's this, energy of really, like, in many ways, it's compassionate with Neptune. It's very go with the flow. It's the dreams. It's the imagination, the creativity. Leo's hyper creative. And it's Pluto digging to the depths of our soul here and, realizing there's grit with Pluto and Capricorn. I feel like we got to have grit. The Pluto and Capricorn generation is called Generation Alpha, right? So think about it. There is this sort of you got to take this alpha energy in your life right now to go create, to go do the things that bring you happiness, to bring you fun. And it's like, you got to let the stuff kind of dissolve away with Neptune in the picture too. Things can just dissolve right now. We can put so much energy, or even with Mercury here in Virgo, we want to get our reality kind of straightened out too, but we can, almost carry too much weight mentally or stress ourselves out. And remember that Mercury is starting to build up to an opposition to Neptune as well. And it's done with, of course, the trine over to Uranus in the North Node. So I think we've already seen sort of the epiphanies and the, different sort of routes we can take in our physical world. Now it's like, okay, let's get the imagination into a more real place by dissolving the things in life that aren't working, that don't bring us happiness, enjoyment, fun. I mean, these are important times right now. I feel like they're big decisions to really have you step into this just sense of self with Leo and the sun here, your true soul's identity of the light that you came here to shine, and to really single that point out. I think it's very important. And with the moon now in Taurus exalted, remember when the sun came into Leo, we did have a brief stay for a second with that moon that came into Leo as well. Or, I'm sorry, into Taurus. So we had this exalted moon, dignified sun, and here we are again 2 times in the same Leo season, which is super rare to get that. So it's a very powerful day. It's very potent here for knowing your value, knowing your worth, making the changes, knowing that you got this. I think we all have to kind of in some ways, it's kind of pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and go create. Go find value. Go find connection that's value. Venus is at 7 degrees, and it's really starting to trine over to Jupiter. So, with Venus being the dispositor of the North Node and the 2 benefics in trine, this is where God's pointing you in a direction that's really going to bring you the most happiness, really sort of illuminate these positive relationships that are going on this journey, that are starting these beautiful chapters in the story with you. And I think it's about really embracing that energy right now. Who is bringing happiness into the equation and who's kind of sucking the happiness from you? And to not just just say, oh, it's okay, oh, it's okay. There's some things we have to go with the flow with, and I think there's some things that aren't fitting anymore. And I think that we want to get kind of hyper-focused on how we want our outer relationships to look, because they're a great reflection of that inner relationship to ourselves, and that's a reflection on our self-worth and our values. So whatever's showing up exterior to you, it's a reflection of where you need to love yourself more, uplift yourself more, give yourself more, TLC in a lot of ways in that area. And maybe that is by realizing that these people just aren't going into the same chapter of the same story with you. Maybe they're going into another one, but this isn't a time, in my opinion, to okay, I'll just go into your chapter. This is very important, I think, for getting really focused on a day like this. Where am I going and who am I going with? And Mars is at a very, tense place. It's edgy at the end of, signs. So 28, 29 degrees is, it's edgy, and Mars hates Taurus, not happy, It's not a happy Mars. So I think we're all waiting for this action and these changes, and like they're coming. Change is coming. But I think it's like more about your desire of your self-worth, more about the desire of the things that are real and potent in your life right now, and that you're getting back into that place where you can create these things for yourself. Open these chapters, start these things. There's definitely energy of like holding on to the best things in life and really letting the worst things or the things that are not on the vibration with you that you're currently on, letting them dissolve because they're not serving a purpose. And I think that moon exalted in Taurus is going to do us a lot of favors when it comes to just really sinking into the physical aspect of what we have, what we want, what we desire, what makes us feel good, but knowing that no matter what goes on around us, that we can really, by self-love and by self-appreciation, know that we got this and we're whole and we can have the things that we do want to touch, that we do want to feel, that we do want to taste. You know, they all show up by these sort of fated moves that we're all making. And we've just been fate train after fate train after fate train, right? Here. So this is kind of that like last, like, you know your worth now. You've seen all these big Taurus transits. This is where you act on it. This is where you kind of commit. And the moon will square Venus as well, which is kind of the big moon transit of the day. So, gosh, puts a lot of focus on the people that are going into this chapter with you and making sure that relationships are built around love. I think that a lot of this comes from like a lot of unconditional love, but then there's also knowing your worth and, you know, knowing what's best for yourself and not, you know, giving in to what isn't. And I know that that can bring up tension too when we're talking about relationships and people and even our own self-love and self-worth. Are we even giving ourselves, if we're not in a relationship, enough love and value right now? That would be where I would be focusing my day if I was in that position, which I am. So take that for what it's worth too. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to move my setup around. Things have changed. I'm gonna have to adapt. Hope everybody's doing well. Wishing you all the best this week. And yeah, what a time to love yourself and to like make decisions based on what's bringing more value into your life. Like that's really what the astrology's calling out for in a very intense way. And I think it does take some kind of like grit and determination to stick to those values because you know they're right, even if they involve change. It's just trusting that's the most important. Two of Swords in reverse, having us get stuck on these crossroads, stuck on these decisions, feeling like, I don't know which way to go. You do. Don't go into the poison, like she's dropping poison into her eyeball, right? Don't go that way. You've already been in there. This is definitely a newer direction. It's kind of the one that we haven't been to, but you already know there's more value in this sort of different place. So it's like, take the risk to kind of maybe go on that, I think. Another two, this one we got the Two of Wands in reverse. I feel like there's a lot of decisive kind of energy, a lot of choices that are going to come up. And, you know, how are you positioning yourself into the future, you know? Do you want the black? Do you want the red? You know, these choices are definitely involving some love aspects too. So I think you want to... It's not that hard. Like go towards the things in life that you really do want. Like if you want the red lingerie, get the red lingerie. Like it's pretty simple. Like, oh well, this person likes the black. Are we gonna do everything for other people? Or are we gonna put something on that makes us feel the most valuable today? I think that's important too. And the Ace of Wands upright. Time to hold that flame up high. Hold that flame. Be proud of making the decision that you do make because it is leading you to that creative new story and it is giving you a lot of confidence. So it is the harder choice probably that shows up today, but it's the one that you know is the best for you and the most creative for you and the most in alignment with who you are that is going to make you feel very, you know, I would say proud and content with yourself when all is said and done, because you felt like because the Ace of Wands, I know this card doesn't really depict it, but it's always like, it reminds me of God handing you the baton. So you gonna take it and run with it and start that chapter, or kind of go back and forth and kind of dilly-daddle in what you already know is a chapter you already completed? How many times you ever read a book and be like, instead of turning the page and going to the next chapter, I'm going to read that chapter again? Like, I know we sometimes will reread books, but like, that's usually down the road when we're like, oh yeah, I need something. Oh, this was a great book. Like, don't reread the chapter you just read, flip the page. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Wednesday, and I'll see you all for Thursday's horoscope tomorrow. Much love. Peace.